What's up, guys? Um, thought I'd get back online for a little bit. I was just on and just interacting with you guys. Did a few online consultations, and now I'm back. Still had some. I didn't even get to like half of what I wanted to talk about. By the way, you can get an online consult with me on my website, theswingmechanic.com. Um, and we can go over your swing, baseball or golf. We can just talk about video that you've taken, or we can actually go live through your swing. So check that out if you're interested in that. So first thing I wanted to talk about, let me share my screen here. So Jackie Robinson, this has been a subject that I've been talking about quite a bit lately. And this is the move of casting the bat. So first of all, casting the bat is a lot of times people confuse casting with kind of this move here, which really doesn't happen in the swing, actually. If you're casting the bat, a lot of people think, oh, then you're going to come around the ball. It actually doesn't really work like that, because as you get the momentum going forward, well, you're going to get that front humerus compression. What tends to happen if you pre-cast the bat, as we're going to see here from Jackie Robinson, actually is that you do pretty much the opposite of coming around the ball. You get a lot of front humerus compression, and you use your body to hit the ball. It's actually a good move to do. We talked about this, I believe, in a couple of videos, live streams ago, where Albert Bell has very much a move like this, and one of the best pound for pound hitters of all time. So Jackie Robinson, as we can see here, look at this move here. Extreme front humerus compression. This is if most of you guys felt this positioning here, it would feel so foreign, because we are in an era, we're in a time in baseball culture where this is not really the method of the swing. Now, when I played, the swing wasn't even really instructed that much. And if you were getting instruction on the swing, you were kind of an outlier. There wasn't that much swing instruction going on. So you would see guys with swings like this. You'd see more homegrown swings, so to speak. Today, this would be so foreign to most kids, because this kind of move would be coached out of them before they could even hit Little League. In T-ball, they'd be getting rid of this move, unfortunately. Let's look at Jackie Robinson's stats for a second. Jackie Robinson, to me, is one of these guys who had a great swing but didn't really aim for the fences. He kind of went for line drives. And so he had more of the higher batting average. To me, he could have been a 280 guy, more like an Albert Bell guy. If he kind of tried to lift the ball a little bit more, probably 280, 290, but would have had, rather than 16 home runs a year, would have had like 35, 45 home runs a year. And that would have put his value more in the 140 OPS plus range to maybe 150 OPS plus range. So I think he could have been actually more valuable. I say that by looking at his swing. I think swing mechanics is disproportionately more important than the other skills in hitting. I'll tell you right now, I'm in the minority in that opinion. Most people would say the mental approach is more important. Hand-eye coordination is more important. Blah, blah, blah. To me, the most important skill within hitting is your swing mechanics. It's the easiest way. I mean, whatever. We could argue that forever, but I see his swing. I think he went for the, Willie, he went for the singles, not singles, but he went for more of the line drives, high average. And that's a choice. That's fine. Willie Mays, actually, when he went to the Giants in San Francisco for the first time, he actually kind of gave into the baseball culture bias towards consistency over power, trying to impress his new fans, and he hit for a higher average. Let's see what what Willie Mays did here when he first went to San Francisco. He spoke about this, how he went for high average. So he went from New York Giants to San Francisco. He hit 347 and hit 29 homers. He had hit 51 homers with a 319 average in 1955. So he raised his average. He basically just didn't swing up as much. That's why I say swinging up is neither here nor there. You're pretty much just trading. It's not going to do anything for a guy that doesn't have a good swing. And for a guy with a good swing, he is going to make himself a little bit more valuable. Because he's going to have more power and with maybe just a little hit to his consistency. The main reason why I'm bringing up Jackie Robinson is I do want to compare him to Roberto Clemente, who, as we talked about in a couple live streams ago, those two are very similar in their stats and in their swing. As I said, Jackie Robinson averaged 16 home runs a year with a 313 average. If we go to Roberto Clemente, by the way, Robinson had a 133 OPS plus. Roberto Clemente has a 130. It's basically the same there. Also averaged 16 home runs a year with a 317 batting average. I mean, these guys are basically identical in their stats. 175 is what Roberto Clemente weighed. Jackie Robinson weighed 195. So Roberto Clemente is going to be the better pound for pound hitter. Let's see where they rank pound for pound. Roberto Clemente's 365 and Jackie Robinson's 592. So Roberto Clemente ostensibly should have the better swing. All right, let's just take a look at their swings. There it is, the casting move. And you're going to see that from Clemente too. When you cast like this, guys, you kind of have to get front humerus compression. I mean, what else are you going to hit the ball with? You don't really have a lot of wrist movement. And it makes you arrive at a very connected position at contact. This is a great way to quickly hit really well. I mean, if you guys are looking for like a quick change you can do tomorrow, this is a good quick change you can do that will bring drastic results right away. Just cast the bat out. And what I mean by cast is just this, nothing else, just in the wrist. You can do anything else you want to hit the ball as hard as you can. So it's basically like, here you are in this position, keep the hands relatively in this same position. We don't need them to be tight, but sort of in this position. Of course, they're going to move a little bit as you swing. But if you had to keep them more or less like this, cast it out. This is regular. This is casted. This is regular. This is casted. It's just basically like this, right? You're going to make your swing much better. Literally, it could be overnight. Okay. Because you have to, and this is something Albert Bell did. This is something you can see Jackie Robinson did. Look at how much he gets his body into the hit, too. Look at it. Look at him. He's feeling, look at that. Look how connected he is. See, right there, this is where I think his swing gets docked points a little bit because he's not really finishing all the way around. As I said, I don't think he was really wanting. I'd rather see this swing go like Willie Mays all the way around, right? But again, he was more of focused on consistency. I think that's pretty clear. If you, the thing to do would just be to just kind of finish the swing more around you. Look at that casting out move. Look at that right there. Now, people will say, oh, that would never work today. Ronald Acuna does this. Altuve, to an extent, does this. Kyle Tucker, to an extent, does this. Those are pound for pound some of the best today. Look how much he's getting. These older guys knew how to get the body into the hit. That's something that's missing today. Everyone thinks they have to be statue still and just it makes them very handsy. Even I know Richard Skank is the big method out there, and everyone thinks that his word is gospel, and you know, but his style of swing leads to a lot of hands, and Judge honestly can get away with it. Look at this casting. This is beautiful. Look at this. Guys, if you cast the bat out like this, you can't be wristy. Look at how much he's connected right there. This is Babe Ruth type of positioning at contact. The only thing is, look at that. Doesn't really finish. Kind of starting to head to first base. A big problem of right-handed hitters. So this is probably where his swing is just a hair inferior to Roberto Clemente. But guys, I'm in big favor of just casting it like this. If he casts it like this, look at how he has to get his hands behind him, and look at how he has to close that lead shoulder. Two things that really more lead side takes care of. But you can also take care of it by just casting the bat out. Look how close that lead shoulder is. Beautiful. Look at that move. Usually the bat is like close to the guy's head at this point. For you guys to feel the bat this casted out is going to feel way, way different. Look how connected he is there. Beautiful positioning there at contact. Now we're at Roberto Clemente. Mangula Media says, just started learning about the swing and watching your videos, and I think that without a doubt, the lead arm dominant swing is what everyone should be doing. Thank you. Appreciate that. I agree with you. It's going to take a major leaguer adopting my approach to make it hit on a large scale. But frankly, you guys should probably be hoping against that happening anyways, because until that time, you guys have a huge advantage. You know, not a lot of people know about me. Everyone's doing Skank's stuff. Richard Skank. And it's pretty clearly inferior to a more lead side swing. In many ways, it also has people way overthinking. You're trying to combine a move that happens up top with a move that happens down at the bottom, and there's all these caveats. If you notice, he's got a ton of videos now that are coming out that are trying to explain his approach. My approach is really easily explained. More lead side, less back arm exertion. So let's look at Clemente. We'll look at how similar he is to Jackie Robinson. Look at the windup of that lead shoulder. I'm going to say it again, guys. When you guys are adding your back arm in the lead arm progression, a lot of you are saying, when I add my back arm, I can't get into the same positions I got into with just my lead arm swing in the bat. A big reason for that is because you're not closing your shoulder prior to swinging. Your body thinks, oh, we have the back arm involved. We can go back to a back arm dominant structure. And it starts with not closing that lead shoulder enough. And then the back arm has to overexert. Your body sets the back arm either to be able to chill out and go along for the ride, or have to be the main supplier of power, which is what you don't want. So close that lead shoulder to allow yourself to remain in a more lead side position. This right here is, most people would just skate by this move right here and not talk about how important this is. This is so indicative of his more lead side action. This dropping move, as you get more lead side dominant, as you have more lead side pull in your swing, you'll be able to just drop the hands onto the ball. This whole thing about over tilting towards the plate to reach pitches and all that, that lives within the paradigm of back arm overexertion, which our culture is basically inundated with and being, deleteriously affected by. And this move right here, look at this. This is how you get a low pitch. What he's done here is he's just allowed gravity to continue his hands, to allow his hands to drop. What happens here, guys, is because he allowed gravity to bring his hands down to the ball and not pushing his hands downward towards the ball or pushing at any point in any direction towards the ball with his back arm. Because he's done this, he's going to be able to be way more connected at contact. See, the back arm is still not even extended. He's reaching out at the ball, but he's still relaxed in that back arm. It doesn't look like he's very connected here, but actually the body is pretty well involved because he's not pushing out with the back arm. And there you can see his back arm and bat are in alignment well into the finish. People say, oh, he was a bad ball hitter and all that. And I mean, we've seen hitters who really stress getting a good pitch to hit. I believe it was it Rogers Hornsby who said that was the secret to Ted Williams, and Ted Williams told everyone else that was important. But then there are guys like Roberto Clemente, who was a bad ball hitter. There he is. Look at that move. So you can see the casted out move that he has with the hands, very similar to Jackie Robinson. Look at this front humerus compression, very straight lead arm. This is what they say is bad out there, guys. How is it that most of the best pound for pound hitters look exactly like this? If the arm bar is so bad, we actually see it tend to happen more in the best pound for pound hitters. And look how hard. There's where his swing is better than Robinson's. He's actually going for it. He's finishing his swing. It's a little bit on an upward trajectory. He's going for the hard home runs. Look at that positioning. Beautiful. Look how hard he swung at that one. Very similar to Robinson, right? And a nice hard swing. This is the one that everyone always refers to when talking about Clemente. This is his all-star game swing, home run. Look at that. Is anything he's doing here something that's taught in swing instruction. But that's a good swing because people don't know what to look for in swing instruction. If your understanding of the swing is that more lead side is what matters, then this is a fine swing. If your understanding of the swing is more conventional, then all you want is for everybody to be stiff and robotic. They really think that the more stiff and robotic you are, the better your swing must be. Until everyone is just staying back. Like everyone's so tight. They're still, they're tight. There's no fluidity. And most importantly, there's no lead side pull. There's more back arm push. I think this is the one we already saw. And I just want to show how similar this is, both Robinson and Clemente, in the casting move that Bell has. And then that last swing you saw from Clemente, the way he just drops the barrel on the ball the same way Bell is doing here. This is textbook in my book. This right here, you'll see Griffey in this same position. Look how connected he is, but how released the bat is. Most people, when they're this connected, the bat still hasn't even come close to the zone. And look at that. Just, this is one of the best swings on video that I've ever seen. And I'm going to do a vlog on the very best swings that I've ever seen on video. So I wanted to talk quickly about 5 guys I wish I would have worked with. And I think I've done this before, but it's worth reiterating. Vince Coleman is the first guy. Look how strong this guy is. I think he weighed 185. Let's look at his stats. I mean, okay, he weighed 170, but he probably weighed more like 185 as his career went on. 264 batting average. One of the fastest guys to ever play. His home run production was shameful. He averaged 3 home runs a year. Let's just look at how strong this guy is. Why is he averaging 3 home runs a year? That should upset you guys. It upsets me. You know why? Because when he got to the major leagues, a bunch of guys convinced him that his only goal should be to make contact and then run to first base as fast as you can. Hitting coaches ruined this guy. Major League Baseball hitting coaches ruined this guy. That's what happened. He weighed 180. He had 193 at-bats per home run. It's one of the worst I've seen. An 83 OPS plus. He never hit above 300. He was converted to a switch hitter in 1982 in the Appalachian League. When is that? When he reached the pros. What were they telling him? Just switch hit and bunt most of the time, or just slap the ball. We don't care. Just get the ball in play and get your ass on first base. That's what they were telling him. What they should have been telling him, by the way, he converted to a switch hitter as this is the first year he went pro. So we know that the hitting coaches got in his ear and wanted him just to be on the left side so he could get to first base. Again, this whole mentality that has been going on in baseball for years of conservative consistency. Just get on base. Just get on base. And here you can see his lefty swing. Beautiful position there at contact, but he wasn't ever swinging hard. Why did he have such a beautiful position at contact, lefty swing? Because it's his back arm is his weak arm. So he's naturally got a nice connected position there at contact. If they just told him, dude, swing hard. Don't settle for just tapping the ball. Swing hard. This guy has got as much muscle, if not more, than Willie Mays. Probably faster too. This guy could have been literally the next Willie Mays. Let's see another swing from the left side. There you can see he just liked this very connected position at contact. So he already had beautiful positioning from the left side. So for that, I would have just told him, dude, let's just work on. I mean, honestly, I would have just wanted him to work on trying to crush the ball from the left side. But you can see he kind of just gives up on it. And then, I mean, none of these swings have been hard, right? He's just trying to get to first base. Here's his righty swing. Very Dwight Gooden like his righty swing. Decent positioning there. But somewhere along the lines, the hitting coaches got to him and said, hey, man, throw the hands. And so he halted his rotation a little bit. And then he just kind of punches out from there. You can see it's kind of a punch move. The rotation doesn't rotate really hard. If you think, compare it, like what would Jose Canseco look like here, right? He'd be swinging all the way around. Well, Coleman, again, probably instructed by the major league guys, hey, listen, we just want you to get on first base. That's your job. Don't worry about the power, okay? You just get on first base and you steal second and then steal third. Don't worry about power. The only problem with that plan is, it's just a ridiculous approach. This guy could totally hit for power. There's no reason why he can't. He's full of muscle, but he would halt his rotation here and just kind of punch out at the ball. So I would instruct him, of course, I would from this side just do a lot of lead arm progression. Get that back arm to quiet down, get him comfortable with making contact and then sort of extending and going into a wide finish. Forget running to first base for a second. Let the swing finish and then run to first base. And for guys like this, righties who do try to go to first base too soon, seriously, go to a field and have them finish the whole swing and then run to first base. I mean, you're going to have to go through the motions to make it a habit. So Vince Coleman is the first guy that I wish I would have worked with. The next guy is Michael Jordan, man. The poor guy actually had a naturally good swing, but then he was connected with Walt Hriniak because he was in Chicago organization, and Hriniak was the hitting coach then, a disciple of Charlie Lau, a very hands to the ball. These guys were ruining hitters left and right. I mean, you can talk George Brett all day long. George Brett, to me, would have been just as good a hitter, I think, without Charlie Lau. Probably would have had more power, possibly less consistency. I don't know. I don't know really what his swing. If anyone has access to his swing in college before he got with Charlie Lau, I'd love to see that, but I don't know if we have any footage of that anywhere. But Michael Jordan was connected with Hriniak. Here he is trying to miss a pitch, so we can't judge him on this one. This is, I think, part of the space. I don't know what the movie was called, whatever movie he was in. But he's still trying to put a good swing on it, and it's very flippy. And that's exactly what Hriniak taught him. Here he is working with Hriniak. There's Hriniak. And you can see, look at that head down. You're being a prudent, good. Look at that, head down. Don't rotate so much. That kind of swing, that's just all that stuff of the 80s, The problem with overly keeping your head down, guys, is you're not rotating then. I'm sorry, you look at the best pound-for-pound hitters, and they're not doing this overly focused on the point of contact even after the point of contact. I think Jordan would have had a great swing had he not connected with Hriniak. Naturally would have had a great swing. It's unfortunate. I wonder, too, if he realizes that now. I wonder if he looks back and says, that's one of my regrets. I promise you, getting with Hriniak was something that hurt his playing. his hitting. Charlie Lau blows. I agree, man. I mean, Charlie Lau, sorry, he didn't have anything valuable to say. I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people. I don't know why people just want to, like, they have, paradise nostalgia for paradise, I think it's called. They just kind of miss the old days or whatever. I like what works. And what Charlie Lau wrote in his book, like, there's nothing of value in that. It's the same thing with Rudy Jaramillo. Everyone praises that guy. There's nothing that guy says that I see any value in. It's nothing that hasn't already been said 1,000 times by the hitting coach down the street from you. It's like all the same basic stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go over what Charlie Lau preached, but you can look up his 7 laws of hitting, and it's things like a balanced, workable stance. What does that tell me? I mean, balance. So what? As long as I'm not falling over in the box, I'm good. Okay, thank you. Next. I think one of them was like rhythm. But look at that. That's a decent position. But then, just kind of like Vince Coleman, he kind of halts his body rotation. And see that? He halts his body rotation so he can overly look down at the point of contact. Look at his head moving down at the point of contact. He's just trying to do what Walt Riniak wanted him to do. We can see that Jordan has a good skeleton for a swing naturally in his golf swing. I sure wish, a lot of times these video guys, they think they're being clever by like zooming in just at the time that he swings. Just leave the camera still. But anyways, we can still see. You can see back arm overexertion easily in the golf swing, because basically, as I take him from back swing into forward swing, if that club gets a lot steeper and it kind of loops to the steeper side rather than looping to the shallower side, then he's overexerting with the back arm, and he's got more back arm exertion than lead side pull. But Jordan has a great looking golf swing. It's a little stiff. I don't know what sort of things he's working on, but with Jordan, whether it's his baseball swing or golf swing, it would just be, I mean, look at this positioning at contact is great. So he naturally had a good swing. And if you look at his home run that he had in baseball, I think he had a couple, or if not a few, but you can see he actually doesn't do in the home run swing what Riniak always wanted him to do. He's pretty actually more lead side pull. So I think Jordan would have had a very lead side pull swing. I think his golf swing is very good, but I still think it looks like it's prone to slice and hook at times. And all we would need to do for that, what do you guys think? Everyone together now. Lead arm progression. Quiet down that back arm. Increase more lead side pull. So Jordan's the other one, the second guy. Third guy is Costner, Kevin Costner. First of all, he needs to switch and go and swing lefty in golf. You can see there's a little, look at this redirection of the club. This is where you can tell what's going on in the golf swing, is that in this redirection. See how it gets a little bit steeper? It kind of loops to the wrong side. We want to see that club loop to the other side, to the flattening side. But it kind of loops to the steepening side, which tells me he's got too much back arm exertion. It's not bad, though. It's really not too bad. This is pretty good. But wherever there's too much back arm exertion, you're going to have inconsistency. There's no amount of mental positivity that can override it. You're going to struggle. And then you can see, look how he has to create room because of the back arm overexertion. A lot of people in golf these days are saying the key is to maintain posture through contact, but they're never addressing back arm exertion. It's the back arm exertion, overexertion, that's making him have to stand up. So what guys will do is kind of what Costner's doing here, which is they'll just round the back, but they feel like they're not standing up because their head didn't move so much through contact. But you see what I'm saying? Still the same problem is the same problem. It's not too bad, though. He probably shoots pretty well with his right hand. I mean, from the right side, but I would switch lefty because look how good his swing is lefty. Look at this. Very similar, by the way, to what you see from the natural guy who, forgetting his name, the guy who was in the natural, the guy who just passed away. Very similar swing. But look at this. Beautiful looking action. Look how connected he is at contact. Textbook, guys. Textbook. And then we see his righty swing. You can see that back arm exertion here. See that? See the flip that you didn't get from the lefty swing. So the first thing I would say is swing lefty for sure. But also we could do lead arm progression with Kevin Costner. What is that guy's name with the natural? I want to say, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Anyways, here's Wayne Gretzky. Look at the loop. Watch the loop of the club here. That's the wrong side, right? See how he goes from backswing to forward swing and it loops to a steeper angle? Well, guess what? Wayne Gretzky shot, and look how much he's going to slice like crazy with this swing. Look at this. It's not bad in many ways. The shaft angle is actually pretty good right here. I'm sure he can shoot probably pretty decent golf. It's not too bad. I like the club position here. It's nice and traveling into the inside rather than flipping over with the wrists. Not too bad of a swing. He probably could be a scratch golfer with this swing. But he needs more lead side. And you can tell that in this transition. So I'd love to work with Wayne Gretzky as well. But with him, I honestly would love to see what his lefty swing looks like, his lefty golf swing. Because he did do hockey from the left side. Tiger Woods. I mean, this is probably the main guy I wish I could have worked with or could work with. I just, people say his swing never changed all that much. His swing has changed more than anybody's. The biggest thing that he has done is he had this kind of delaying action at the top. You can, if we take it back here, you can see in regular motion, you can see it. See how he kind of delays at the top and then he only moves quickly about right here in the swing? Well, now he's tried to do a Ben Hogan thing where he's kind of starting the swing. Look at this. Beautiful looking action here. The only thing he needs is less back arm exertion, guys. All this stuff with Haney and Foley and Butch Harmon, none of those changes were good. I know people like to say Butch was great. Butch didn't do anything to his swing pretty much. Actually, he did more harmful things, but it just didn't show up for a while. See, what he tried to do is right there, he was trying to keep his back to the target for as long as possible. What they believed, and some still believe today, is that you keep your back arm or back to the target as long as possible and have your arms drop. That's a terrible move. The thinking was that when you get stuck, what's happening is the body rotation is outracing the club. So their idea was, well, then just slow the body rotation and drop the hands and almost cast the club down. That's a terrible move. Let's just listen to what he says.
Biggest change that Tiger's made is he's really tried to get his hands in front of himself coming down. In other words, arms in front of the
See
body,
that?
where the club used to lay down.
Really tries to get his hands in front of his body coming down. And you see that move. That was the first problem that Tiger Woods worked on. This artificial move of keeping the back to the target
Club used
and
to lay down somehow,
putting the hands
your old swing when you used to get stuck.
in front of you.
Yes.
And they thought that this was the problem. See, they thought that that's what was going on when you get stuck. That's not really what's going on. When you get stuck, it's just overexertion of the back arm. That's the Butch swing right there. And that was, I mean, it was starting to be a worse swing. I know people are like, oh, he had his best years with Butch. It's just not showing up yet, but the swing is starting to get, again, all he ever had to do was have less back arm exertion.
Getting the golf club more online at the top, on the plane, parallel to the original angle of the shaft, that gave him the opportunity to rotate his arms down in front of him and get.
Haney wanted the same thing. He wanted to speed up, is what they say the club head. That's not what the problem
golf
is.
Club out in front of him.
And now he's got a swing off, which is just, it's honestly not that good. See how there's no delaying and sort of waiting. He's going hard from the top. This is kind of, he was trying to copy Hogan. So this got really stuck. And then he's just started hooking and slicing. There's a hook. There's a shank. See, this is where he's trying to look like he's spinning open really soon from the top of the backswing, kind of like Hogan liked to do. Tiger wanted to look like Hogan. Look at this is the more natural move for Tiger, and it's fine. See how he just kind of waits for the club from the backswing into the downswing right here. He just waits for it, just waiting. And now this is what he needs to keep. I mean, it's funny looking at his, 4-year-old swing, but that's what he needed to keep. It's just that delaying sort of action from the top instead of look at how he starts down immediately. That's why he's been fighting, hooks and slices. Now look at this. This is something that I never thought I'd see from Tiger, which is the club head getting steeper. Look at that. The club head actually got steeper as he went into the downswing. This to me tells me that he is way lost. And he could be fixed with just the lead arm progression. All along, all he needed to do was more lead arm progression, There's a good look at kind of how his swing is structured now, trying to look like Hogan. Look, from the start, he's pulling hard into the downswing. It's this whole talk of like squatting, like the stack and tilt and then go into like a squat, like immediately from the top. You don't have to do that. You just need to be more lead side pull, and however you do lead side pull is fine. But he's trying to look like Hogan. Look at the difference. See the difference in his college swing? Watch how he kind of waits. He waits for himself to be ready. I mean, not everyone does more lead side the same way. So he just kind of waits at the top. See that? That little move. And then if we compare it to this, see how it just it jerks from the top as opposed to this. So all he ever needed to do was swing with just the lead arm and find his structure for delivering the best possible power and consistency with just the lead arm. I do favor using a small club to do this. I like hitting off of a yoga block. You can get these things on my website. Anyways, those are the guys I wish I could have worked with. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, I guess, huh? But you never know. some of these guys are still around, and hopefully they get their hands on this video. So thank you guys for watching. Let me see if I have any comments before I check out. Nope, just the Charlie Lau blows comment. So I think that does it for me. I thank you guys for tuning in. Any questions before I sign out here? No questions. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.